based on what I'm seeing, this is the same group that was here on Tuesday, right? Last Tuesday?
Yes, it's primarily the same group, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm not gonna bother reintroducing myself again. What I wanted to do this time, first of all, great to be here with you guys again. I've been looking forward to coming back and doing this. I'm not here to give you guys a talk or a speech today. I'm here to have a dialogue. I want to have a discussion. So before we get into the discussion, just to preface this a little bit, the reason that I'm doing this, I'm here to serve. I just want to be clear about that. I'm not here to listen to myself talk. If you think about the way I went about it last week, right? I told you a little bit of my story. Hopefully you're able to see yourself in my story, some of the things that I was dealing with after I graduated. Hopefully you were able to see how I was not only able to dig my way out of it, but to create something for myself and to be able to carve out a lane to where I essentially wake up every day and I get paid to be myself, which is the ultimate goal. So with that being said, I did, and I'm old school. So Izzy sent me the career action plan and, the scorecard and all that. And I printed it out because I wanted to take a look at it. And I'm thinking like, if I'm in you guys' shoes and I'm looking at these right now, what are some things that I'm thinking about? So I think just to kick it off, and I'll preface it by saying this, because I was telling you guys last week, like, this is not the time to be cool. This is not the time to be like, oh, I don't want to share. I'm worried about looking good. This is the time to get some help. This is the time to get some advice. I'm not even saying you need help. You might just want to bounce ideas. So the first thing on the career action plan, one of the questions that jumped out at me was pretty simple. Name 2 career occupations that you're considering. So I like to start with that. Is there anyone because I think back to when I was about to graduate and I was nervous, you guys. I had no idea what I was going to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But like I said, I figured it would work itself out. But I think if something like this existed at that time and I could come on here and be like, hey, Taj, I don't really know what I'm going to do after I graduate. And then I had someone to kind of walk me through that and maybe do something in real time. That would have been super helpful. So before I open it up, I just want to remind you guys that when you're sharing, it's not just about you. It's about who can potentially learn through you, whether it's someone on this call or someone who listens to this recording years down the line. You can be helping someone else by being brave enough to open yourself up and allow me to give you some advice. So I'll just leave it at that. Does anyone want to start?
I could start. The question you asked was, what are 2 fields that I was interested in pursuing, right?
Yes, sir. Is it Armias?
Ermis.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess 2 fields. I'm interested in law enforcement. And I'm also interested in going into real estate and becoming a realtor. One of those, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so Ermis, first of all, thank you for opening it up, man. I have a very, you see Nipsey in the background, and you already know his real name was Armias. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So just out of respect, man, got to acknowledge you for that and for opening it up and being brave enough to share. So you mentioned 2 different.
No problem.
Yeah.
No.
And I want to have a discussion with you, man. So feel free to just stay off mute for a second because I'm going to ask you some questions. I think this will be really helpful for everybody tuning in. You mentioned 2 areas. That's like apples and oranges, right? Not that that's a bad thing. You're like, hey, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that. So let's break them both down. And I'll start with this. My first question is, why law enforcement?
Well, I see what's happening in the country right now, and I know change doesn't happen from the outside. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, the only way you can really make change occur is by going in there and being a part of the system and changing it. And I know that's a big task to put on oneself, but I feel like I will be able to at least put in a little bit of momentum into the movement to get law enforcement and into some sort of accountability and into for what the things that have been occurring. So that's why I was thinking about that. And I've always liked the idea of protecting people and things like that. And I see now, it's not what I thought I would be going into law enforcement for, but I still appreciate the work that police do because they are keeping people safe. And then there's instances where things like what happened to George Floyd and what happened to, I think her name was Mika Bryant, and things like that just happened. And it's like, those things like really make police look bad. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like these people are supposed to help serve our community, and I want to be the part to make it. I want to be a part of it so that I can change systems so that people can see police as people who are supposed to protect and serve, and not racially kill, because that's not what police are meant to do. So that's why I would look into law enforcement, you know?
Okay, very good, brother. Thank you for being bold enough and brave enough to share that first and foremost. So I'm taking notes. One of the things that I see a like up there. Yeah, he was going in right now. One of the things that I like the most about that is the why behind it. You have a very strong reason. You're not just saying, well, I think I might like it, or you have a very intentional reason for wanting to go that direction. So we're going to come back and revisit that, but let's just take it to real estate for a second. Now, why does, aside from the money, there's a lot of money in real estate, brother. I'm dipping my toe in that area as well. Now that I'm a little more established in life, but why real estate? Why do you feel called to go that direction?
Well, one thing about me is, like, me and my girlfriend, we're always talking about houses. Like, we love like interior design and things like that. And so I was thinking, like, what is something that I could do that I appreciate and I like? And I was like, I like houses. I like money too. I'm just saying, like, money is good, but like I like houses, and I like the concept of like getting people into a place that they want to live forever. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, let me look into real estate. It's just a thought in my head, nothing crazy. Like, not like I'm going in, but like I have thoughts of like reaching out to people that I know that are in the field already, so I could get like somewhat of a like internship to see if I even like it, you know. But that's a field that I was thinking about, because I do enjoy the beauty of interior design and things like that. And I know, like, I myself, like, becoming an interior designer is really difficult, and I'm not in the position to become one. So I was like, what's the next thing? Oh, I could do real estate. And then if I wanted to, I could go into becoming an interior designer, but that's a totally different field that like I'm not set up, like I'm not in the position to go into that at the moment. So it's like, what's the next best thing? I could do that, and I could also like improve like monetarily, you know?
Yes, sir. Very good. Okay. Before we move forward, I want everybody to just pay attention to how I'm approaching this, because obviously we're focused on this particular situation right now. But as we move forward, there's a very particular thought process that I use. And I say all that to say, as we're walking through these steps, I want you to understand the thought process behind it. Because if you can implement my way of thinking and how you approach this, this is going to work wonders for you. Because remember, I'm speaking from experience. Like I said, I just turned 30 years old. So I graduated from college 8 years ago. So I've lived a lot of life. I've had a lot of ups, a lot of downs. So my thought process is what gives me clarity. And there's no substitute for clarity. Trial and error is one thing. I talked about that last week. Trial and error is one thing, but clarity, you can't beat that. If you know where you're going, why you're going there, no one's going to stop you, especially with the athletic mindset. So with all that being said, Hermes, you talked about real estate. Sorry, it is Hermes, right? I'm sorry, brother. I've had a long day, man, but I'm here with you.
You get Hermes, but you
Hermes,
close enough, you know?
Okay, well, close enough ain't good enough, man. I got to get right. Okay, Hermes. Okay. One thing I would say is, I'll start with the law enforcement piece. I think your reasoning for wanting to go that route is very strong. I understand wanting to make change. And I would offer to you, this is just offering, take everything I say with a grain of salt. I would offer to you that that's not the only way that you can cause change in this world, right? I say that to say, simply by finding something that impacts other people, and law enforcement is one way, but you strike me as the type of guy who could literally, you're the type of guy, and I could tell just by hearing you speak, you could choose anything and go directly to the top with it, right? And have an impact on people with it and be known for whatever field you choose to be in. So the thing about someone like yourself is that, and I see this a lot because a lot of former athletes do go into law enforcement, and some people have great careers, they enjoy it. And some people find themselves in a position where they're like, man, I wish I would have given this a little bit more thought, right? So my question to you is, when we talk about change and everything, that's a beautiful thing that you want to do that. Now, when you think about what it looks like to be a police officer, right? You did say law enforcement. Are you talking about a police officer or like criminal justice system? What are we talking about here?
It would be because I'm a poli-sci major, so I don't know if I want to go into law school. Because I don't know if I want to do more schooling, but police officer isn't completely out of the table, out of the conversation. But like, it's definitely something within the field of like working in law enforcement. But I don't know specifically which aspect of it I'm aiming towards at the moment.
Understood. Okay. Something I want to offer up, man, is just to actually think about what your lifestyle looks like as a police officer, because you have to think about what that looks like. Or in the criminal justice system, dealing with you're working against a lot of systems, meaning like if you're looking to create a change, not that you can't do it, but that's a lot to put on the weight of the shoulders of one man. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by if you were to choose something, because I have a feeling that could be it, but I think there's something, if you really spend more time digging beneath the surface, that there may be something else. Maybe something that you even thought about in passing, or maybe you haven't even thought about it yet. With real estate, the thing I'll say about real estate is, I look at real estate like this. I don't know, who knows, man, you could be a great real estate agent, but I think that real estate is more so something where you have some extra capital and then you start investing in real estate the same way that people invest in the stock market, for example. So when I think about when someone tells me they want to get into real estate, my first advice is find a way to get your money up, but do it in a way where it's true to you. Don't just go chasing a check because you're going to burn out, like I talked about last week. So I would spend a little bit more time, and we may come back to this. I want to give someone else a chance to share, but just some quick advice to you, because we may come back, like I said, spend a little bit more time on the lifestyle piece. Think about what can you do, or who can you be, or what can you create to where you can create that change. Because you can build yourself up in anything and have a big enough platform to where you can share your ideas and create change simply by sharing your ideas on social media or, in your chosen field. Doing real estate doesn't necessarily mean you need to go get your license. It just means you might be in a position later in life when you're a little more established and you can throw some money into rental properties and things like that. Even going as far as having hands on the design, because I know you mentioned like in the interior design part. So if that's something you want to do, you can be hands-on in that department, but hire other people to do the rest. So you're not having to deal with the other sides of it. You see what I'm saying? I'll just leave it at that for now. I want to give someone else a chance to share, but is there anything else you want to share, brother? Anything on your mind? I'm here for you.
No, I just want to say thank you. And I definitely, I'm listening. I'm hearing everything you're saying. And that's a great point where you're saying you got to think about the lifestyle and how people can make change in many forms, and it's not just one way. And like, it's making a decision like that is usually a lifelong decision. So you want to make that decision not like with a brisk thought. You want to like actually think about it. So I definitely hear that. So I want to say thank you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And stay in touch, brother. Same with the rest of you. Even if you don't get a chance to share tonight, make sure you link up with me on social media or whatever that looks like, because I want to make sure that we're staying in touch and we're following each other's journeys and that I'm able to support in any way that I can. But with that being said, I'm going to pass it along. Does anyone else want to share, ask a question, contribute to the conversation?
I can share. So for me, I either want to do speech pathology because I really want to like one-on-one help people. And I'm a psych major, so I've taken like a ton of different classes about like disabilities and stuff. And like, I want to help like the kids with disabilities, like be viewed as different from society, because like a lot of like different articles have like taught me that they're looked down upon. And so I want to change that. I hope you can hear me.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. Haley, this is what I would say. I think that's phenomenal. I think that's great that you want to do that. And I'm going to go back to I'm going to keep repeating this over again because I want people to really think about this. Based on, I just heard you talk for like all of 30 seconds. I feel like that's a great path for you. Have you thought about the lifestyle and what the day-to-day looks like? And I'm assuming you're going to have to take some additional schooling as well, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I think there's a little bit of a delay. It might be on my end. Go ahead.
Yeah, my internet's really bad. I'm sorry.
It's all good. I can hear you loud and clear.
But I've looked into grad schools and stuff, and like I feel like that's what I want to do.
Perfect. Did you have a question? I agree. I think that's a great path, and it sounds like because what year are you, by the way? That's an important question.
I'm a junior.
Okay, so you've done enough schooling at this point to where, I'll give you an example. I thought at one point I wanted to be a physical therapist. And then I think it was going into my junior year, I started taking anatomy classes. And I was like, listen, I know basic anatomy, but I didn't really see myself continuing with the schooling. So I knew it was time to make a pivot. I didn't know much back then, but I knew like physical therapist, I don't know if that's for me. So the fact that you're a junior and you have such a strong reason for wanting to do what it is that you want to do, and you've given some thought process to, okay, I'm going to have to do some additional schooling. This is what it's going to look like for me when I'm actually in this role. I want to be helping these kids. I want to break the stigma. I'd say you're in a good path. So did you have a question about anything? Because I think you're good to go, man.
No, I kind of just wanted to share.
Okay. Thank you for sharing, Haley. Anybody else? By the way, I don't mind, guys. I'm a coach. Oh, I hear somebody. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that was me, Taj. I was gonna say, just in case, because I don't know if it's like internet across the board. It's been like taking a few student athletes all on and off. I made you a co-host just in case, like worst case scenario, like I get booted out.
Got you. Okay. And just so you know, Izzy, I'm on my phone right now, so I probably have limited capability of being a co-host because but it's all good. We got enough people. I'm waiting on my new laptop, man. I'm messing around to crash my laptop. I'm working too hard, man. So it is what it is. I thought it was gonna be here before today, but you got to do what you got to do. So we getting it off the phone tonight. This is what I was gonna say. When I open up the floor, if it's silent, just so you know, it may be awkward to you, but it's not awkward to me. If y'all want to sit here, have a silent call, that's cool. I think there's enough of us on the call to where we can get to everybody given the hour that we have. So I want to make sure we maximize its time. Like I was saying, I'm a coach. So I've done hundreds, probably over 1,000 coaching calls at this time, and silence works great. So I'll just open it back up. If anyone wants to ask a question or has concerns about their career after their sport, I'm all ears and I'm here for you.
I got a quick question.
Yes, sir.
So what did you major in? I know you might have said this last week, but my bad if I didn't catch that.
All good. My major was communications. So what happened was once I realized physical therapy wasn't for me, I basically I tried to get into business school, I tried to be a business major, but my GPA wasn't high enough. So I'm like, let me just do communications. I like talking to people, working with people. Let me see where this gets me. And like I was saying last week, I had no idea that I was going to be doing anything I'm doing now. But yeah.
And when you graduated, did you have a clear path? You probably answered all these questions last week, my bad. Did you have a clear path in which you knew what you were doing, or you were kind of like, not even graduated, like you were, let's say you were a sophomore, like, were you like, I know what I'm going to do, or you were just like, all right, like, as you said, like, let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. Yeah, so I shared with everybody last week, man, that I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. And that comes from not being clear and intentional. So like the stuff I was sharing with you earlier, if you really take that and run with it, man, like what I would do if I were you, when we get off this call tonight, I would just take a sheet of paper. It sounds simple, and it's one of those things that it's easy not to do, right? But if you do it, it can literally change the rest of your life. I know that sounds dramatic, but I'm being dead serious here. And this goes for all of you. When we get off this call tonight, take a sheet of paper, very important that you do it by hand, put it in front of you, and start to write down what you want your life to look like from the moment you step across that stage and until you can go as far as you want when you're in your 20s, when you're 25, when you're 30, when you're 35, when you're 40. I've done this before, and I've spent like an hour on this, and I got all the way up to I was like 70 something years old. And then I started getting hungry, so I went to make a sandwich. But my point is, if you do this, this is something that is really going to help you. I encourage you all to do this because that's my whole message. I could tell you, I could give you all the tips and, networking tips and how to find clarity and, how to get your foot in the door, how to create content, how to start a pod. I can tell you guys a million different things, but that's the most important thing I can share with you guys is be intentional and spend time on it. No one is going to sit you down and be thinking about your life for you. No one's going to do that. So it's your responsibility to do that. So I offer you all to take that up.
I actually just thought of a question.
Bear with me. Okay, that's Haley again. What's up, Haley? Talk to me.
Well, I was gonna ask Izzy this, but I guess I can just get another opinion. So I probably I want to go home for grad school just because it's cheaper, like in state. But I have no idea like which program to pick, and I don't know how to like pick a school that's like right for me, if that makes sense. Because the reason I came here was for volleyball, and like that's how I knew that I was gonna come here. But I don't know how to decipher what I want when there's like so many good schools at home.
That's definitely a question for Izzy. And I definitely try to stay in my lane. But since you asked me, I'm gonna put my 2 cents in. It comes back to being intentional. I think you got to do some more research. So I feel like, there's so many different options. Like, it's just as simple as putting them all down and weighing them up. So like, do you at least have a top 5?
Yeah, but it's just like overwhelming because then I also get like an extra year of eligibility because COVID. So like I also don't know if I want to play when I go there.
Ooh, this is a big one. I'm glad you brought this up. I forgot all about this. So this is something totally new. You just opened up a can of worms with this one. So there's a lot of, I'm assuming a lot of you guys have that optional extra year on here. So I get the question a lot, like, Todd, should I go back and play, or should I just focus? I think that when it comes down to making that decision, because that's a big one. I've never been in that position before. My eligibility was up when it was up. So I think that you got to look at a couple different factors. And this is advice I've been giving lately, is like, the first thing is, do you still love the game? Because a lot of us, and some of you on this call are going to resonate with what I'm saying. Some of us, we just played our sport because we were good at it, and it's paying for our education. And some of us kind of fall out of love with the game. So I think about, if I had an extra year, I was kind of already out of love with the game at that point, and I would have just moved on, because I was ready to get my life started, even though I didn't know what I wanted to do. Also, I'd say this, Haley, and this is just my 2 cents. Keep this in mind. I feel like you're very clear on the direction that you're going. So I think, well, let me ask you this. Do you think you could do both? Let's say you narrow that down to the top 5 or to the top 3. You end up going to grad school. Do you think you're capable of really applying yourself to grad school so that you can be 100% prepared for your career, meaning doing internships and all that too, and still play?
I don't know. Like, I know I'm not ready to be done, like, playing. But I don't know if I'll be able to balance grad school and playing, because grad school, like, you really have to focus. But I know after, like, I graduate from here, like, I'm not going to know what to do, like, with free time and stuff.
We're gonna make this real simple, Haley, because you say you don't know if you're ready to hang it up, right? Okay, what if I just said, no, I don't think you should. I don't think you should play next year. How would you feel about that?
I mean, it's sad.
Yeah, then you need to play. Straight up. I'll tell you that. You need to play, and you need to figure it out and make sure you're putting yourself in position too. So thank God for Izzy and classes like this and us having this conversation right now, because now okay, you feel sad, so that means you need to play. I forget who just had it in the comments, but I saw it pop up. You don't want to have any regrets, and I agree with that 100%. You definitely need to play because you're not ready to let it go yet. So enjoy your last year, ball out, and also, listen, it is what it is. This is real life, right? Like, you could slack off a little bit on your classes, or you could ball out you could ball out and you could make sure you're handling your business in the classroom as well. You can make sure you're getting experience. You can make sure you're networking, connecting. And I think you can do it. You're a grown woman, you know what I'm saying? Handle your business. You'll do it. Anything else?
Yeah, so I was going to add, I'm glad that Haley brought that up, because I think that's an important topic that not many of us are having like deeper conversations about. I mean, having open and honest conversations about, like, hey, like, I was given a year, by the NCAA. What are my next steps, right? So, like, I from the I don't know, for those of you that attended the grad school presentation from athletics, one of the big things that I was harping on was how to activate your the professional student mindset, because when you're thinking about grad school, it's not just about, like, how well you're going to do academically. It's really about, like, how are you going to activate that mindset where like you're thinking about your academic approach, thinking about your professional approach, like, and also like really thinking about like what are these support systems that are going to be that are going to help me make sure that I have full access to all the resources within grad school. And then also thinking about like what's my return on investment, because naturally speaking, just like when thinking about like just grad school, there aren't that many scholarship opportunities for grad school. So like if you can take advantage of the fact that your sport is going to pay for that 1 year of grad school, like take advantage of that. Don't just focus on the sport, really dive into like that particular program. But what that's going to take is really understanding who you are as a person in the current moment and who you want to be after you graduate, right? And making sure that you're speaking to the right people on campus, and obviously like not just myself, like really speaking to the folks that are running the program, speaking to your academic advisor, speaking to people that know you the best, so that way you can make the most informed decision possible. Because I think that's been like the hardest thing for a lot of student athletes is, you're at this point, you have this extra year, but it's kind of like you don't know what to do with it. So it's really about having these difficult conversations, and then also, you're a young adult. This is going to be that moment where you're going to be making a very tough decision, and that involves finances, involves, maybe you relocating, maybe like, maybe I'm going to have to stay here in a space that I'm not just yet ready to leave. So like it's important to have this kind of, I'm glad that you're bringing that up, because I don't think we're having enough of these hard conversations.
Yeah, Izzy, first of all, that was bars. So I just want to echo what Izzy said. And, Haley, thank you for bringing that up. And that's really what we're here to do, right? I told you I'm not here to give you guys a talk tonight. We're here to have a conversation. So Haley brought up something very real. Does anybody else? We can straight up. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about? Anything they want to add to the discussion? This is a free for all. And we got your back, like Izzy said. Oh, everyone's being shy. Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna put somebody on the spot.
I was about to say, I feel like picking on people now since we only had 2 people. I wasn't gonna do it.
Because I had a conversation
Kirsten
with,
has something.
Oh, you do? You got it?
Yeah, Kirsten, he has his mic off. What's up, Kirsten? Talk to us, man.
One thing I appreciate last week, I took some stuff from that, your little speech last week that you did when you came in. But just like what Haley was saying, I just had a real bad injury. I got to get a second surgery. And my last year eligibility got took from me pretty much from Torrance for the next fall. I would have to medical redshirt and go to grad school. But I'm supposed to graduate this spring right here. So to me, it's just one of the things, like, I'm from Florida, and to me, it would be too hard just to sit up in New York for a whole year and not play no sports or nothing, just to play in 2022. So that's why I made my decision, like, I ain't doing that. That's why I was kind of like basically telling Haley, I feel like she should do it. She really wanted, but yeah, so now, but what your conversation was last week was about after college and like what you're gonna do and stuff like that. I feel like I got a game plan, but a lot of the stuff that you were saying, I was feeling it, stuff like that. I ain't had much. That's it.
Hey man, thank you for sharing. Let's talk about your game. Before we talk about your game plan, let's do this. Because one thing I don't want to do is act like, the last thing I want to do is when someone, because I could tell, Kirsten, I'm saying your name right, bro. I'm saying your name right, Kirsten? Okay. Yeah. I could tell that you're going through it right now, and that's okay. All right. So from one man to another, I'm just telling you that's okay, bro. I've been through it. Izzy's been through it. It's tough, man. You've been playing since you were knee high, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, like 5th grade.
Yeah. So it's okay, bro. Trust me. Your life is just beginning. You're a young man, bro. You have your whole life ahead of you. And I really mean that. There's going to be a grieving period. Bro, I remember, check this out. I moved back home, right? And I remember it would be like, I had just graduated, came back from Stony Brook, living in Southern California. You would think I would want to go to the beach or something. Weather was nice. Saturday mornings, my pops was watching football games. Just the sound of the whistle would make me angry. Just hearing the whistle would make me angry because, like, damn, I really can't strap it up and play anymore. Like, that hurts. So this is what I'm gonna tell you, bro. The first thing you need to hear is don't be over there suffering in silence. You got vulnerable for a second right now. So because of that, I'm able to give you these words, and I want you to take these words, right? Take these words and run with them and use them and really hear what I'm saying. I'm speaking from the heart right now. Yeah. So vulnerability works, bro. Vulnerability is strength. So those moments where you feel like if you got to close the door and be by yourself and shed some tears, get that out and let it go through you. If you need to talk to someone, a family member, a teammate, I don't care who it is. Izzy, if you want to reach out to me, I'll talk to you. Like, you don't want to keep it all up here because then it could get ugly. You want to make sure it comes out, and it'll accelerate your healing process too. You are going through a healing process. I always tell people it's kind of like, it's like a death of a former self if you think about it. This is the self you've known yourself as since you were in 5th grade, bro. So it's like a death. It's the same kind of feeling like when you have a death in the family. Like, oh, that hurts, man. That person's gone. But the thing is, if you think about it, bro, that person's not gone. He's still there. You just have to get used to not being a football player anymore, but take that same energy. What position did you play, by the way?
Linebacker.
Ooh, okay. So you know that feeling when when it's about to be a blitz and you just visualize yourself just going through the hole and blowing up the quarterback?
Yeah.
Right? Or you're hitting the running back in the backfield, tackle for loss. Those are your goals now. So when you wake up every day, I want you to be in beast mode about your goals. So now that brings us to your game plan, right? And I'm serious, bro. I want you to reach out if you need to talk. I mean that. Get in touch with me. Figure out a way to get in touch with me. I want to talk about your game plan because I want you going on a full out blitz for the rest of your life towards your goals. So what is your game plan? Let's hear about it.
I mean, short term right now is try to graduate. And then, like I said, I got another surgery. I just had surgery like a week and a half ago. I got to get another one in like 6 weeks from now, 5 weeks. And so that, I'm trying to come back up to New York and get all my stuff. And then as far as career-wise, I'm trying to get my my real estate license this summer. That way, I mean, I'll probably be back walking probably like August, September, God willing. But, I mean, that's just my short term right now. But that's the most important as far as in my life right now that I got to get done.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else you're looking at besides real estate?
Nah, not really. Not right now.
Okay.
I'll
say
my mother, she started doing real estate like 3 years ago. And so she's doing kind of well with it right now. So I'm just going to try to learn from her.
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. At first I was about to tell you, hey, just like I was telling my man Ermis earlier, like you might want to look at something else because I feel like real estate is a money play. But when you say your mom does real estate and you're going to be learning from her, my whole attitude switched. So definitely, bro.
It's not just me hopping in blindly. I know I got somebody. I mean, I could do anything right now because, I mean, even before I done got into landscaping and everything. As far as making money, I'm not worried about that. But I'm talking about as far as like career-wise, if I want to start young or start getting my knowledge, I know my mama, she knows it. And so I can just learn from her, get up under her, and then figure out from there, really.
Okay, let me ask you this, because this is important to talk about. And this is great, man. I'm proud of you for even having this game plan. That's a solid game plan. Mom does real estate. She's successful. You stick to her. Not only does it give you that tight bond and interaction with mom, through this time in your life, but also you get to learn something and start making some bread. So that's a great situation. Now, How long did it take your mom to start being successful in real estate?
Well, to be honest with you, it changed my family life. When she taught herself, and we was in a real bad situation, like as far as like losing her. I ain't really trying to go on all that.
Yeah, that's cool. You don't have to.
She started doing that, and then I just seen how our whole family's life just changed after she started doing it. So I was like, man, shoot, she's very knowledgeable about it, and she taught it herself. So she obviously, you feel what I'm saying? She can teach me. I know she can teach me, and so I mean that's why I say that's just the option. It's an opportunity that I'll be foolish to pass it up.
Yeah, man, very good. Definitely learn from moms and take that and run with it, man, because you're gonna be very successful. Like I said, you take that mindset of the football player and that go-getter mindset, you stick to mom, get the knowledge, make some money. And I want you to look at this too, man. While you're doing that, while you're building that real estate empire, I want you to consider other things as well, like other interests that you have outside of football. right? Because you're going to be making some money, but I don't want you to just have money for the sake of having money. You want to think about other things that you want to do with the money. So you can say, okay, when I have X amount of dollars, I know that I'm just using this as an example. You know, it might be like, I want to do youth camps or something like that. Or, you know, I want to invest in technology or different things like that. Whatever interests you outside of football, you want to be able to say, you don't just want to be spinning your wheels and getting good at real estate and running up the bag without having anything to say. When I have the money, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it towards this. I'm going to build this. Is there anything that comes to mind outside of football that you have interest in or you would want to pursue?
Option stocks.
Oh, okay. Big baller. Talk to me. Option stocks. Okay.
Yeah. I remember,
get it in, man.
My mama, she took me and what was it called? You know, where they come and they really try to sell you something, but they put I forget what they called. I remember when we went, that's when I first heard about option stocks. And especially now you see that stuff's blowing up now. So I mean, what you talking about as far as say I do start getting some revenue from real estate, I do want to invest in other stuff. But that's probably one. So I got a friend of mine, he's doing option stocks. He's in college over at FAU. He's doing pretty good with it. So that's just another thing I can think of. As far as investing wise.
Okay. Anything else that you're interested in that actually outside of making money? I know money, you know, that's one of my passions as well, brother. I'm not gonna lie to you. But outside of making money, music.
If I'm not gonna make money from it, I'll say music.
Okay. What kind of music?
I play instruments like I know how to play the clarinet and the sax.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see you.
I play the clarinet.
Clarinet,
what?
Yeah, I play the clarinet.
Look at this. We about to start a band. Man.
I'm down.
I got me a bass guitar. I gotta learn how to play it though.
Hey man, so I would say this. Because the last thing I want is for you to be, you know, 3, 4, or 5 years from now, you got all this money, but you're not doing anything that interests you or that you're excited about. So if I were you right now, man, definitely don't stop playing those instruments, but try to figure out a way to where once you start getting some income coming in, you can do something with music to where like you can create opportunities for other people, right?
Yeah.
Meaning like doing something, whatever it is, man. I have a million ideas in my head right now about what you could do with that. It could be like something with the kids or opening up a club with live music, whatever, man. The sky's the limit. Just see that. I saw that one hit you right in the head. That one, open up a club with some live music. Maybe you get up there and play the sax and the bass every now and then, but you have local acts come in, you do it in your hometown, build something for the community. Just a thought, bro. Just throwing it out there.
So that's my city needs something like that for sure.
Okay, so that's important. That's another thing too. As you're making money, make sure you're investing in real estate back in your neighborhood as well and building up the community there and also opening up different, you know, music venues, stuff like that, man, for sure.
Yes, sir.
It's all about other people, man. You're gonna get your money regardless, but the thing that I really try to drive home is that you got to be focused on how you're going to impact other people, because that's what's really going to have you excited when you wake up out of bed in the morning and keep you pushing through those tough times. Even right now, when you feel those moments, like when you're going through the grieving process and no longer being a football player, one of the things that's going to get you through that is thinking about, okay, man, this sucks right now. I can't play ball. I missed the game. I feel like my career was cut short, but man, how can I go help somebody else while I'm helping myself? If you stay in that mindset, man, you're going places.
Yes, sir.
Okay, brother, before we pass it around, is there anything else that you want to share?
No, I mean, sure. I mean, we covered a lot already.
Okay. Well, thank you for being bold enough to share yourself with us. And then, like I said, man, if you need, reach out to somebody, even if it's not to me, but I'm available to you as well. All right.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Be cool.
No, and
all right.
Kirsten, I just want to share, like, Kirsten, I know, like, that's not an, you know, I can definitely empathize with what you're going through. And this goes for every senior that's graduating. Understand that, you know, life skills, like, this office will always be here for you. So like at 5-10 years on the road, if you need help, you have our information, reach out. So I just want to put that out there.
Yes, sir. Thank
you. Izzy, I'm actually really jealous that you weren't around when I was in school, man. Man, I had nobody. I was like, the people, as a matter of fact, when I graduated, the people actually left or went on to different schools and different roles. So I couldn't reach out to them even if I wanted to, but that's neither here nor there. It is what it is. Don't play your tiny violins for me, folks. Okay, who's up next? Who we got? I really don't want to start calling on people. I know it's not about being cool.
I got
somebody.
somebody.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, you pick him, Izzy. You get him. You get
him. And this person is smiling because this person knows that we had a conversation about this, and she would be the perfect case conference for this.
Oh, who is it?
And so I'm gonna let her unmute herself and talk.
That would be me.
I saw you right now. I saw you cheesing. I saw you over there. All right. So Izzy said you had a very specific reason or something you wanted to share. What's up? Talk to us.
So basically I'm a senior now. My undergrad was in business management and I don't know what I want to do for grad school. I think a lot of time that I wanted to go into like education, start out being like a teacher, and then maybe one day be like a principal or an assistant principal or like an AD or something, but of like a high school. But on the other hand, I feel like I've always just been so attached to like the business side of things that I want to go get my master's in like HR. So I don't really know. I lean a lot towards education, and Izzy told me that that's probably what I should be doing just by the way I talk about it. But there's something that's not allowing me to do that. I don't know what it is.
Something that's not allowing you to do what specifically?
To just commit to education, stick to that, and make that like my decision.
Oh, well, I can tell you what it is. You ready? You're just uncertain. And that's okay. You just don't know yet. You just haven't really decided. It's not like this is something's holding you back from doing it. It's just you. That's it. Mm-hmm. If you think about it right like that, it becomes pretty simple. So once again, okay, there's a lot there. There's a lot to unpack. And once again, as I'm going through this with Raina, everybody think about the thought process. Think about my thought process behind all of this. Any question I've been asking anyone thus far, and the questions I'm about to ask Raina about her particular situation, these same questions can be applied to you. And these are questions that you should be asking yourself. So just think about it like that. Okay, first things first. You talked about grad school. Are you 100% sold on going? Do you have to go to grad school? Have you already made the decision? Yes, I'm going to grad school.
Yes, I have another year of eligibility because of COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and you're playing. Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to grad school, and your major. You said business management is your current major.
Mm-hmm.
And so are you trying to okay, it's not about your career. You're trying to decide what you're going to get your master's in once you get to grad school. Is it HR? Is it education? Is that what we're dealing with here?
Pretty much.
Okay. So we have business. Well, let me ask you this. Why did you go into business management in the first place?
Because I felt like that was just something that I was good at. It is very broad. So like I could take in any direction that I really want to be honest. Like I could go to grad school for education, even though I have a business degree, or I could, there's so many like options in business too. I feel like I don't know what a lot of them are either. So I think I'm kind of that's probably why.
Got you. So you chose it because it's a broad major, but in the back of your mind, education was always kind of the plan from the get-go.
It was just always like a thought, but I don't know. I never took it into that much consideration up until the past year.
Well, this is the time to do it, right? You're ahead of most people. You're ahead of where I was. So, you're in a good spot. Don't stress about it. Before we go any further, don't stress about it. You're in a good spot. You have time to think about it and you have time to execute, more importantly. Okay, so here you are, you're thinking about education. Then all of a sudden, HR creeps into the picture, creeps into your mind. Maybe I'll go the HR route. So why HR?
I to be honest, I don't know. I really don't. I think that it's just, it's not anywhere close to what I would be doing as a principal, and I enjoy all the things I'd be doing as an educator or something like that. But I also like you said, think about the lifestyle sometimes and of being a teacher, and it's great because I was talking to Izzy about what I want to do. I want to have a family and stuff like that. So that's really good if I'm a teacher or in the education field or something like that. But then now there's options to be remote and working from home, and a lot in the business department. So I think that would just be that's part of the reason why I feel it's a strong contender. But other than that, I don't really know.
Okay, that's fair. Any other contenders besides HR?
Not really. I was like thinking about getting my MBA, but it's just not what I want. Out of finance, accounting, marketing, not my thing. Like just not my things really at all. And like healthcare management, those are like I think like the four main things you would do or like specializations for an MBA, and I just don't want to do any of them.
Understood. Yeah, the thing about an MBA, I'll come back to what you were saying, but for anybody listening, the thing about an MBA is if you don't know going into an MBA what you want to do with it, then really don't waste your time, because you'd be better off just coming up with an idea for a business or finding people who are running businesses, partnering with them and building something together. There's no substitute for being like in someone's business, helping them grow. You know, like I've been a solopreneur for a long time, so I understand how to build a business, but I didn't know how to scale a business. So what I did was now I'm vice president of the publishing company that helped me publish my book. So now I'm operating as, you know, a leadership role inside of a company. So I'm able to learn and grow and see. Now I have a team, but I plugged into a system. So I'm getting my MBA technically without having to go to school. I'm getting paid to get my MBA in life. So just consider that for anybody listening. Let's bring it back to this, because when you said education, you talked about you said AD and then you also said principal. You didn't say teacher at first. Talk to me more about like the AD and the principal side of things.
Yeah, I think I need to be a teacher before I'm any of those things. So I kind of
okay.
Yeah, so I need to get my K through 12 and then work my way up to those positions.
Okay.
Yeah, and they don't have 12 here. That's also a part of my dilemma.
Where's here? Where are you located?
Stony Brook. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For grad.
Mm-hmm. Understood. Why the high school level? Is there a particular reason for that?
I don't know if it's exactly high school, but I think it's just because I don't think I want to do college, but I don't want to do middle school because those are just not, that's that age range. I just don't think I'd be as engaged with. And then high schoolers, I feel like they're old enough where you could like, I don't know, actually like talk to, like relate to, and those type of things. But I also do like younger kids as well. Like I think they're hysterical, like super fun. So I think like I do good there as well. So
okay, here's the first thing I would say. Let's just process of elimination. Forget about the HR stuff. The reason I say that is because you like kids. You had the whole reason you went into like, you know, wanting to get into education in the first place because you like kids. You want to impact kids. You want to do something involving children. HR, you're going to be around a bunch of adults, you know, managing, doing payroll, whatever that looks like. You're going to be bored to death. You're going to be bored to tears in HR. There's no reason for you to be there. Stay around the kids, do something in that lane. Now, what I would say about that though is, to your point, well, then again, in education, you're going to be back on campus at some point. It's not going to be primarily remote, so you'll be around them. Yeah. But I would also look at other ways that, especially with the business management degree, I would look at doing something to where you don't necessarily have to work within a school system, but a way that you could work with children in other ways.
Sorry.
It's all good. I would look at doing different things like nonprofits that work with children. I can be involved in there, or certain youth camps. What sport do you play?
Lacrosse.
Okay, you know, like lacrosse youth camps, different organizations that revolve around that. Looking at how you can be involved or on, you know, the board of directors. Like there's so many different options to where if you're thinking of yourself only as starting out as a teacher and then building up into being a principal, then you're kind of limiting yourself. Because if your focus is, okay, I have business skills, I have a business skill set, I know I want to help kids, then I would start like really exploring other people. Like who comes to mind when I ask you, who are some of your role models outside of sports?
My parents, honestly. Are
you just saying that because they're sitting right there?
They're my main ones. No, actually. Like they're actually like probably my main role models, but other than that, I can't think of a ton of other people.
Okay. Well, that's a beautiful thing that your parents, what do your parents do, if you don't mind me asking, or they don't mind me asking?
Oh, no. So my mom works in a hospital. Stony Brook Hospital actually, and she does like ultrasound and stuff like that. So especially with like all this COVID stuff going on, she's kind of had a really busy year. And my dad, he's a blue collar worker. Wakes up at 4, comes back at like 8 o'clock. Like he does basement waterproofing and like foundations and stuff like that. So he just works super hard for my family, and I just appreciate that a lot. So
that's a beautiful thing, Raina. So shout out to your parents for giving you a great life, and now you got your whole life ahead of you to build. So this is what I would say, and I know we're coming up on time, so this is what I would leave you with. Forget the HR stuff, like I said. Definitely have more conversations with Izzy for sure, like to get more clarity, because that's not my expertise, right? I didn't go that route, but Izzy knows what he's doing, so have more conversations with him to gain clarity. And then okay, this is my path. I'm sticking with education, but also stay open to other opportunities. Because let's say you start out as a teacher, your end goal of being a principal or an AD might change over time.
Right.
If you're open to other opportunities. Like I said, you might come across some like, it's like not international, but some sort of like lacrosse youth training. And then you're just like, whoa, where did this organization come from? And they're hiring for like, a director of like camps or whatever. And then you just like all these other things start to pop up along the way as you're on your path. So stay open, talk to Izzy, but eliminate anything that doesn't have to do with the kids, because that's where your heart is. So just stick with that.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, Jillian.
Also, what happened with Jillian?
She just put something in the chat talking about what her dad did. He did business for his undergrad, then became a math teacher, and now he's a principal. Got his master's and his PhD, and he thought he always wanted to do business, but he loves his job now.
Sounds like Jillian's dad might be someone you might want to have a conversation with. Just throwing it out there. You might need to set that up and just ask him some questions and ask him for advice too. The more people you can ask for advice who have already been in your shoes, the better. Also, Raina, last thing. Yeah,
so
sorry.
Todd, so before you go into your last point. One of the things that I like after hearing this conversation, Raina, have you thought about entrepreneurship, starting up your own nonprofit?
I have not.
Because that's something where you can infuse both your your business background and your passion for education.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that obviously we can help you with in terms of like brainstorming. We also have the small business development center on campus that helps with seed funding and helping get you off your feet. That could be an opportunity. And the great thing about starting up your own nonprofit, it's something that you can do on the side. Right. Like that you can do like it doesn't have to be your main thing right now, but like you can like slowly develop that until like you're fully ready to like take it on.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, you speaking my language, Izzy. When it comes out to that, man, I'm biased. I would get on here to everybody, start your own business, start your own nonprofit. But I stay in my lane. I'm just here to serve, like I said. Also, Raina, for real, do what I was telling everyone else to do too, and make sure you actually, once we get off this call, spend some time writing it out and just really think about your day to day. Okay, last thing, Izzy, before I wrap it up, can I talk about the thing I told you earlier today? I don't want to. Okay, I am working on a project right now with several other entrepreneurs. Everything's kind of under wraps, but I'll just leave it at this. And it's funny you wrapped up with that point, Izzy, about entrepreneurship. If any of you on this call right now have a business idea, if you've thought about starting a business, if you have a business idea right now, maybe you and some of your teammates are working on a business, even if it's just an idea and you haven't taken any action on it, I want you to reach out to me, because for social entrepreneurship week, which is the first week of June, but we're building up, some friends and I, several of us, the judges are going to change, but we're doing like a Shark Tank style show where you'll be able to pitch your idea and you'll get real-time feedback from actual entrepreneurs who are building businesses and doing great things in the world. And all of us are former athletes. And the winner gets actual like one-on-one coaching. So there's no prize. We got to respect the NIL laws and everything. You're not going to get funding, but you're going to get actual privatized coaching from us. But the great part about it is, even if you pitch us and you don't win, you're still getting feedback on the spot. So I want you guys to reach out to me if you have ideas, or you might think of an idea tonight and be like, I'm gonna hit Taj with this one and see what we can do. This program, we're gonna do this every single month, this pitch program. We're gonna start with Stony Brook. I told everyone I want Stony Brook to be the inaugural program doing this because this was kind of my idea. But then after that, we're going to Rutgers, we're doing UCF, we're going to go on to like some big powerhouse schools. So for Stony Brook to be the first one, you might want to be a part of it because it's going to be documented as well. So I'll leave it with that. Izzy, thank you again for having me. Thank you to everyone who contributed tonight. I'm a resource to you guys, so don't hesitate to reach out if there's any way I can support. And you guys be cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much, brother. And obviously, we're definitely gonna stay in contact. And figuring out like certain things for next school year, obviously over the summer and things like that. I definitely want to bring you back to speak to our PAC mentors who they're going through a separate series of trainings. And I'm really excited about the direction of that program. So I'm gonna be picking your brain, and hopefully, while we're in this space right now,